Here we've got some visitors doing their sunrise shots, and these are probably local people that have camped out in their boats overnight here. Respectful people. The phone is a little off tilt. So people, oh, there's a fisherman. That's unusual. Haven't seen any at all in the summertime. I'm not sure if they're that active in the summertime. I haven't seen for a long time. So I'm thinking of doing something short this morning, if you allow me, to not interrupt this great practice of taking a moment at sunrise with the scriptures. But there are quite a bunch of things on the calendar this morning, so the time is a little tighter. This beautiful palm leaves here. And it's just the powerful nature of the readings today, the statements. There's one word that mightn't be understandable, parrot. Jeremiah goes to the parrot. And this is actually just a transliteration of the Hebrew name for the Euphrates. And so I'm not an expert at all on etymology, but I'm interested for sure. And in this particular word, I just know that that word comes from the Hebrew name for the Euphrates, and that's the way they call it. I probably the EU at the beginning, Euphrates is EU is the Greek for good, euphemism. Is a word that has it in many other words as well, and that's not coming to mind right now. But so maybe it's the good river Euphrates. Maybe that's the Greek version of it. And he goes to hide his waistcloth, new linen around his waist, and he goes and hides it on instruction from God. And then he's sent back a time later, and he's actually going to find it rotten. And like these prophets always have a very powerful message with physical things. The word here is that God's people, because they have abandoned God, will suffer immensely. And then we know also that the prophets have amazing words of consolation, but that doesn't take away the seriousness of the reflection Jeremiah offers. And the psalm, which really is a canticle from Deuteronomy, picks up on this. And the psalm's statement is that you have forgotten God who gave you birth. None of us chose and planned our parents. Everything was gift. And that we are alive is a gift. Life is such a precious and fragile treasure. Amazing, fragile treasure. And every day of life is a real gift. And when we receive gifts, we usually say thank you. And we also behave correspondingly with people who give us gifts. We respond in kind. Let's start off with just the word kindness and goodness, recognition, appreciation. And that's all part of religious expression. And all of us who are blessed with the gift of faith are obviously committed by the nature of recognizing the gifts we receive to wonderful responding reciprocal love for God. Yesterday I heard another talk from the Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis. It's very powerful, by Chris Stefanik. And it's interesting how powerfully he explains the response that's due to that gift. Very compelling, beautiful. Parents feel it very much, let's say, when a child doesn't correspond to all the love they have given their child. They feel so hurt, understandably, rightly so. They have to deal with that hurt. It's a common experience for parents. And so it becomes a very maturing moment, because love doesn't ask for payment. And that doesn't take away from the fact that love should be responded to. Because love is gratuitous. Love is love. Love is gratuitous. Love is a marvelous reality. It's the gift of the person. The person has such infinite value. It's a valueless. Well, you can't put a value on a person. And here, this is what we're dealing with. The mystery of love, the depths of love are infinite. And then the ability to actually ignore being loved. It's so hard. It's such an incredible denial of being, of humanity. And this is what Jeremiah is getting at. And these words in Deuteronomy, you have forgotten him who gave you birth. And then we have a new birth for Lazarus today. His name as well is meaningful. Eliezer is El, is God. Eli, my God. Azor, helps. My God helps. My God is my help. My God helps me. And who could say that better than Lazarus, who was taken out of the grave? And today we remember his sisters, Martha and Mary, whose faith was very significant in convoking Jesus, in calling on Jesus, and expressing their hope that Jesus would do something. They didn't expect he would take him from the dead, but they wanted him to come earlier to cure him. Maybe there's some parallels to the story also of Jairus' daughter, the expectation that Jesus would come to heal. And now we have a dead Lazarus, but he comes back to life. And we know that the participation we have as Christians in the resurrection already in this life is the life of grace, the life of forgiveness, the new life in the soul. And then how easily still it is for us also to forget the God who gives us birth. They call to great intimacy with God, to friendship with God, to response to God. It's quite a wonderful blessing, an amazing gift. I put in a link there for Monsignor James Shea's talk at the Eucharistic Conference, which is also a very, very interesting sweep of all the Bible, since one thing we do here in the Sunrise Stroll and Chat is to touch on some scriptural moments and topics, readings every day. I thought some of you might like to have that talk, but I'd really recommend for, especially those of you who are Catholic and Christian, to listen to the talks of the Eucharistic Congress over a week ago in Indianapolis. It's pretty wonderful to see how a people like America, with all its technical advances and prowess, and then also its tiredness in some ways and its major interior challenges, that it produces an event of this caliber with powerful thought, creative thought, renewed thought. It's something that brings a lot of joy to the heart and encourages hope that life is not done. And there we can rise again. There can be a new springtime, a new sunrise each day. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Pray for us here.